But as long as we say to ourselves we will do as we please, the same thing it falls into our moral structure. The morality of the people is falling, and falling seriously.
Good morning, everyone. I hope all is well in these unfortunate, troubling times. It seems like things are just getting more worse and worse. People aren't waking up. We are not getting more of our rights back. We are not becoming more and more free. I did want to bring some awareness to a video that I recently was a part of. I was asked to come on to um, uh, Jerry's work and do a video about what was it about objective morality, studying objective morality, and luckily, and I'm thankful that Kris Nelson was able to join us because I had an outline on some things that I wanted to say, and I wasn't quite sure what to expect with the video. I didn't know, that there was going to be other people joining, which they did. Unfortunately, some of those individuals wanted to try to debate, if objective morality is real and bring up a bunch of what if questions. And this is frustrating because, first off, I'm not here to debate anybody on natural law. I'm not here to debate anybody on objective morality. If you've put in the time and you've done the work, yourself, then you should have an understanding of how this stuff works. If you've put it through the Trivium process and you've, taken in the grammar, you know, and you'll have the understanding, then you can put it back out in the form of rhetoric. If you're taking in the input, then until you can process this information internally, then you can put it back outward, in the form of output. And that's the thing is people think that they are going to understand this, overnight. People think that they are going to understand this from a 2-minute video. Sorry, that's not how our brains and our minds operate. That's not how we learn things. It takes time. You have to literally put in a good amount of time, care, and willpower to actually seek out this information and run it through the Trivium process. The problem is people are trying to take in little bits of information. And what I mean by this is just because you watch Mark Passio's natural law seminar does not mean you understand what he is saying. And I'm going to rephrase that and say it again. Just because you watch Mark Passio's natural law seminar does not mean that you understand what he's saying. So people really need to, take in this knowledge and information and be willing to do the work internally and come to a great understanding. This whole argument of it has to be proven to me, I don't have to prove anything to you. You're not anybody of importance. You have to prove it to yourself because no one can prove anything to you because you can always deny whatever form of information and knowledge is put in front of you. Just like you have people denying objective reality today, just like you had people denying, everything that we were trying to say during the whole COVID scamdemic, and all the information was put in front of their faces, and people just kept denying. Not everybody's going to come to understand all this stuff. Some people are going to want to stay in their incorrect forms of thinking, in their incorrect forms of worldview, and just stay in their own bubble. Those are the lost souls. Those are the people that we can't help. Those are going to people that if we somehow change the tide and push it in a dynamic toward freedom, those are going to be the people who just go along with whatever way the tide is flowing. And sadly, that's majority of the population. It's like you have this cup, which is your mind, and social engineers have put their own forms of satanic worldview, incorrect means of thinking, and limited information into this cup. Well, imagine the information being, cement. And as you get older, that cement is going to harden. And as it becomes, more and more, hardened and solidified, that's going to equate to your neural pathways and, the brain structures and how you think and how you view yourself and how you view the world and how you view other people. Well, if you come across new information and you try to put it into that cup, there's going to be some form of friction. So you have to break down and erode those earlier forms of beliefs, those earlier forms of worldview, those earlier forms of information that was put in place by someone else in order for that new information to come in and flow and solidify. And that takes time. That's not going to happen in a 2-minute video. That's not going to happen overnight. That's why it's called the great work. The great work starts when you take in the information yourself and you start to change yourself and you start to know this knowledge. Then you use a form of outward manifestation to educate other people. It is the hardest thing that you can do because people, it's like when they hear the term objective morality, they have this emotional reaction. And again, I don't have to prove anything to you. I don't have to prove anything to nobody. It's about discovery. You have to discover this knowledge yourself. You have to discover it. No one else can discover it for you. You have to discover it. You have to put in the time, the care, the willpower, the dedication, the fortitude, the strength, the courage to seek out this information so you can understand it. And hell again, you can judge the effects in reality and see we are losing more and more rights. Tyranny is growing, ignorance is growing, and slavery is all across the planet. So you can use the law of freedom, as morality increases in the aggregate, freedom is going to increase in the aggregate, just as though immorality increases in the aggregate, slavery is going to increase in the aggregate. So what do we see in the real world? Are we seeing more and more freedom? No, we are seeing more and more slavery, which is equating to more and more immorality increasing. So, again, I want to thank Kris Nelson. He did a wonderful job of, maintaining the conversation, keeping, his composure. Because unfortunately, when you do some of these videos, people have their own, their own means of coming in to try to debate and not really learn and not really, educate themselves. And I want to thank Kris Nelson, help for joining and, help being such a professional. If you haven't checked out his website, it is evolveconsciousness.org. He's actually one of the individuals who's taken Mark's work and, grown off of it and, taken it one step further. And hell again, his website is evolveconsciousness.org. And honestly, he was the only reason why I stayed in the video, because once I realized that certain individuals wanted to bring up their emotions and just try to debate, and when you don't answer their questions, they act like a child and start to act irrational. He was the only reason why I stayed, because hell again, I look at him as a peer, and I would never leave another soldier in any form of battle, in any form of war. You know, I'll stay and make whatever sacrifice, because we are in a war. We are in a war against ignorance. We are in a war hell against slavery. We are in a war hell against tyranny. And I'll never leave a fellow soldier, held behind. So hell again, much respect to Kris Nelson. I have so much honor and respect for him. I love his work. I hope everyone can go check out you know, some of the videos he's done, some of his presentations, because they are top notch. And I can't wait for the part 4 of his video. So, hell again, you can learn about this video by checking out the QR codes. If I can get it working, I swear it always stops working right about now. All right, let's see if I can get it playing one last time. Well, who cares? Hell, I've already shown it hell long enough. So again, peace out. and enjoy the rest of your day.